Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about something that's doing the rounds at the moment in the Western world, and just another element of the globalists' attempt to control social media to prevent it from being any alternative to the truth that they churn out in their propaganda in the mainstream media. And it's the idea that misogyny, the supposed sort of irrational hatred of women, misogyny is a crime because girls and women may be upset online if they see something that is negative towards girls or women. Therefore, misogyny should be a crime, and people should have their account shut down, their social media posts removed, and this includes criminal action where the police come around and knock on your door and drag you away. Now it's another one of these wrong-think type approaches to population control that the globalists want. They effectively want that the only information you see, hear, and read is what they approve and have pre-approved and have scripted. Anything outside of that should not be allowed is the globalist position, and they're just moving towards it as quickly as they can, and they're always using, it's to protect children, it's to protect women, it's to protect this, and it's to protect trans people, it's to protect gays, it's protect. So they always dress it up as they're moving to or trying to. We're only trying to protect people. That's all. We're only trying to really, and so on. That's always their attitude. And then of course they've got the lesbian gender studies academics to bring out these supposed studies, all of which are propaganda, by the way, saying that 100,000 billion trans people committed suicide yesterday because of the Nazis. So if only we can control the Nazis, then all the bad things stop, and that's the direction. But I don't know how many people notice how it was a few things to notice. One is that misogyny, the dictionary definition, isn't being used here. It's a very broad catch-all, and effectively, if you sort of read the proposed legislation, for example, in Britain, the proposed legislation, excuse me, really has no definition. That the only definition, if you can call it that, is that if any woman or girl becomes upset by whatever they read or see online, something that they may choose to read, something they may look up. So you have to really choose to be offended if you're going to be offended. This is not something that comes at you on a news channel. And hey, I was watching the news channel, the government's, and I'm offended by it or something. It's not that. You have to actually choose to go and look at it, and thus you're choosing to be offended. So now this doesn't have to be a video or an upload such as this. This could be a comment somebody makes online about a video, for example. So let's suppose there's a very super feminist, anti-male, anti-straight white male video, and you comment about it, saying, well, what do you expect from a lesbian gender studies professor? That can be, well, hold on, you've just committed an act of misogyny. You've said something negative about a woman which either did or could have upset her. Now, the state is ever willing to jump in and represent the aggrieved party, whether that party's aggrieved or not, by the way. Well, it could have upset somebody. Can you prove that it didn't upset somebody or wouldn't have, or if they were having a bad day or something like that? So there's no definition of what misogyny is, and it's the broadest possible definition, and arbitrarily decided by whoever chooses to get upset. And that person doesn't even have to register a complaint. The state, the government can say, well, we think somebody might have been upset by it, and so we'll arrest you or demand your shutdown anyway. Now, they're threatening to heavy the social media companies to say, well, you can get a fine, quite a substantial fine, if if such a social media posting is even made, let alone that it stays up. So really, they're trying to force the social media companies to say, well, you have to filter, use software, to filter any and all comments and videos, anything that even might or possibly could, at a stretch, trespass across the vagueness, this very vague law. You have to get rid of all of it. Now, that effectively would mean that government criticism of government policy could be removed. But notice how one-sided all this is. It's very easy to find online videos that are beyond hate-filled against men, against straight men. There's the most, that's called misandry, by the way, misandry, the hatred of men. There are videos everywhere look that are directing hatred towards men, but that's not going to be illegal. So it's quite okay to direct hatred against men, but not against women. It's quite okay to direct hatred against white people, but not against anyone who's not white. It's quite okay to direct hatred against heterosexual people, but not against anyone who's LGBTQ. It's quite okay to direct hatred and vitriol, hatred of the first order against Christians, but it's not okay to direct that same level of hatred against any other religion. So you notice how it's only white people, only men, only straight people, only Christians, and you can say the most horrible things about them. That's quite okay, and even the government will protect you while you do it. But you say anything the other way, you say something against non-white people or against non-Christian religions and against non-straight people, and suddenly the government wants to become very, very active in shutting you down. Now, you'd quite reasonably ask why. Now, you may get nonsense about, well, they've been oppressed for centuries and we're just making up for compensation and all those sorts of nonsense arguments. But in reality, the situation here is this is a globalist play. The globalists want to dismember Western societies. They want to crush all the self-confidence in Western societies. They want to eradicate all social cohesion. They want to subvert all of our institutions, and these are the chosen methods to do it. Now, unfortunately, on social media, the straight white male Christians and so on can fight back through social media. They can disagree with the nonsense that they see online, or indeed, as I'm doing here, do their own videos or audio live streams, and this irritates and annoys, enrages the globalists, because they want total control of the media narrative, all of it, not a bits of it or 90% of it. They want all of it. You are not allowed to hear any point of view, any position, or see, hear, or read any information that they have not decided you will hear and you will see, all in the interests of the globalist project, of course. So we really need to come to grips with that and say, okay, well, if you want to do a misogyny law, okay, well, I'm not sure it's necessary, but all right, let's assume it is just for the moment. Then you must also have an equally powerful misandry law that is policed with just as much rigor and vigor as the other one. So if anybody says anything negative about men, you're going to arrest them also. If anyone says anything negative about Christians, you arrest them. If anyone says anything negative about white people, you arrest them, and so on. About straight people, you arrest them. Now, that would of course, that's not what they want. They're trying to destabilize white society, not to have equal laws or to have laws that make any sense. These laws, and I don't think it's been legislated yet, but these laws are being put together solely for the purpose of undermining social cohesion in the West. You've been Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.